Defending in FC 26. I've seen so many people struggle with this through X comments, YouTube comments. So my first tutorial and first kind of bit of coaching advice is purely going to be on defending. I'm going to give you two really key things that you need to be focusing on right now, things that I'm working on and still working on in a work in progress. I'm also going to be highlighting mistakes, common mistakes that people make that I am still making, just to be aware of when you are defending in FC 26, so you actually understand why you're conceding or where you're going wrong. Right, let's get into the clips. And the first thing I want to focus on here, purely interceptions. Interceptions in FC 26 are really good. If you can get the interceptions right, you are going to put yourself in such a good position when you are defending in this game. So at the moment, I don't know what I'm doing with this particular player here, but he's running off. He's on a bit of a journey. Now, we've got to look at where the danger is on this pitch. Yes, Frimpong can turn and go down here. And if you are looking to purchase any FC 26 coins or points, then check out eldorado.gg. Not only do they have FC points and coins, they've also got other in-game currencies for other games. If you use promo code ALX, you get yourself an extra 5% off. The beautiful thing about Eldorado, it is safe and reliable, and the beautiful thing is you can check out the reviews from all the different sellers so you can feel rest assured that you're getting exactly what you paid for. I believe in Eldorado.gg, so should you. Check them out if you're looking for any in-game purchases, coins or points. Let's get back to the video. That's absolutely fine because we can cover that with this player. So the danger, well, I say danger, but what we don't want is this ball getting to this player's feet. I can't actually, in this particular moment, do anything about the ball going to this particular player here. There's nothing I can do about that. But what I can do is preempt, player switch, and we can see that L1 or LB will switch to this midfield player because of the icon above his head and preempt this ball and see if we can win this ball up really high up. So if we actually just fast forward this clip, you can see the player switch, and just as he's about to make contact with the ball here, look at the positioning. So now when that ball gets fired in here, we have got a great opportunity to win it. And that's all about anticipating where the ball is going to go and intercepting. What I see a lot of people do is they would have taken this player, carried on and tried to close down Frimpong. But there's no danger here with Frimpong. So let's instead try and win this ball up higher up. There's the win. And now we can set up an attack. And actually, now his Frimpong is out of position. We could get the ball back here. We could even move back. And then we can see if we can swing this ball down the line for our midfielder. So if you can, you don't always have to be pressing the play of the ball. See if you can really see where the player could go. So again, here. The ball has been played. I'm close here. So that's why I've gone quite close to the particular play of the ball. But it's all about anticipating what is going to be next. Player switching out. And as this clip runs through, there's the interception. So it actually wasn't very well defended. And we are going to touch upon this just in a second, actually. As this ball goes through here, I'm actually left with Delict. And I don't know really what to do. So I'm just trying to delay and delay. That bit of movement out of Delict, if he didn't pass it with Doku there, he's got a great opportunity. So it's bad for me. But then when he gets to this situation, I know that the midfielder here is not the danger. Danger, danger, can't get to that player at the moment. So when I've got my Steven Gerrard here, my first priority and only priority is stopping this ball from going to one of those two players. Preempting, intercepting. So when you aren't actually putting pressure on the ball, you are actually thinking about where this ball could go. Here's another clip here. You're trying to get pressure on the ball, but again, it's about positioning your players in the best place you can. So here, it's about that quick player switch, realising early on that actually there's no point me taking my centre-back and dragging him out to the ball player. I've gone with Gerrard. I didn't even get a chance to even get him into position, but I'm controlling the right player. I stopped this ball from possibly creating a dangerous opportunity where there is space, and that's through interceptions and partly player switching, which we are going to touch on in just a bit. Again, there. It's really important. These are all just interceptions at the moment. He's got the ball here. I cannot put pressure at the moment. If I switch to this player, it's going to be wasted because by the time I actually do anything, first of all, I'm the wrong side of the goal, but also the danger's here and the danger is here. So actually, I've controlled the centre-back and I'm thinking, right, I can see what this guy is going to do here. and I preempted it and stepped up. Now, if I didn't do that and I controlled the midfielder, that ball does go to the striker in this position here. And actually then I'm in a bit of danger, and that's going to be really tricky to defend. So it's all about preempting where your players are going to, where the opposition is going to pass the ball and getting that interception early. Again, this is actually really bad defending here by myself. Like, where am I going? So if this Coman just carries on, this left back is completely out of the game. But then it's realising and it's correcting. I've made a defensive mistake. Defensive mistakes happen. But this is the danger here. Coman carrying on dribbling. Well, he's got another like 60 yards to go to goal. It's not danger. So it's a quick switch. I don't carry on controlling this player and think, right, let's go after Coman. It's a quick switch to try and minimise the impact of my mistake. And there's another interception. So interceptions are crucial, but you can only intercept by actually reading the play, looking at the players, looking at the danger, and trying to be proactive. If you wait for the pass to be made and then you try and intercept, you're always going to be one step behind. So the first thing that I can really try and get you to focus on, can you actually read the play and can you preempt? That doesn't mean being all out aggressive and moving your players all over the place. It kind of means, like that example I just showed, I've made a mistake with the fullback. Okay, let's correct it. Let's play a switch out and let's see where the pass could go and see if I can get an interception. The second thing I want to focus on is player switching. I talked about this a lot in FC25. It's even more important this year, is player switching. Who are you actually going to control? Now, the speed of which you player switch. Now, I have changed my settings so that player switching is closest to the ball. Okay, so it means that when this ball goes past, at the moment, well, first of all, this player is next up for player switching because other than the player that I am currently controlling, he is next closest or she is next closest to the ball. So when this ball gets played through, I don't want to, with an L1 switch or LB switch, be controlling this centre midfielder now. The closest player to the ball will be one of these two players. Once you get used to this, it works really well. The closest to the ball for L1 switching and LB switching works really well. Now, as soon as this ball gets played, I need to switch. So before the ball even gets to this player, look who I'm controlling. And that speed of player switching is going to give you a great chance in being able to defend well. Obviously, there's other actions on top of that. Now, if I didn't have closest to the ball, there's a danger that this player would have been selected because he was previously selected. Because I've made that player switch, I'm able to make that tackle because my player is in the correct place. It's a quick player switch again. This one wasn't the greatest play for me, but we still got away with it. So if you have a look at this again, as soon as that ball is played, I need to play a switch. There is no point me carrying on controlling a centre midfielder when the ball is going to a striker or, you know, one of the two strikers and you've got defenders close by. So you've got to switch quickly. I actually right stick switched and I thought I could right stick switch to this player, but you can see the right stick switching went to this player here. I corrected that very quickly by then doing an L1 or LB switch. So the right stick switching actually didn't help me out in this situation, but I've corrected it. I'm getting in the right place. I'm jockeying and almost waiting for the striker to make their move. Again, bad defending there, but look how quick that player switching is. And that is the thing. You are going to make mistakes. I make mistakes so many times in games. It's what you do about it and how you correct it. So I've made the mistake here and I'm quickly player switching and getting myself in a much better position to win this ball back. Again, trying to get to the right player. Because I've player switched, nice and easy just to win the ball. Now, I want to focus on here. Another example, preempting, player switch, getting close to him. So again, look where I switched. A lot of people would have stayed with Gerrard, and you may be doing this as well. Stay with Gerrard, try and get close to the ball. I've already switched. My player's out of shot here. That probably wasn't that probably was a right stick switch to be able to get that, because I can see it, the danger's here. And the best player to control here is actually my left back. Because of that, I'm preempting again and I'm charging forward. So the second that Coman gets the ball, I'm on them. And people will be like, oh, it's high pressure. It's not high pressure. This is manual high pressure. This is not the AI by putting on 100 depth, 90 depth, whatever. This is you being in control. So as soon as that Coman gets the ball, bang. And the opposition is probably thinking, oh, what tactic is this? It's not. it's game management. So now I just want to highlight a few examples of, in my opinion, not the best defending and what I see a lot. A lot of things that you're going to see, and look, this is just my opinion, so take that with a pinch of salt. This is what works for me, and I'm trying to help other people, but there will be other people saying other things. Other people will be saying, just be very cautious, back off, back off, back off. This is an example when you back off. I've got the ball here with my cam. This defender here, my opposition, is just backing off. And look how I can just advance and advance and advance. He's backing off, backing off, backing off. But also, what he should be doing, really, if he wants to back off, is make... I don't know why my two players have ran wildly offside, by the way. But probably control either this player or this player and make sure this ball cannot get to them. Or control this player and run back if there's no way that these two players can have the ball past them because they are in an absolutely awful position. Now, because he does that, now when he pulls out and comes out to the player, because he's doing it anyway, he then brings that player out to meet this player anyway. But look at this back line. Look at this back line now. So disjointed, gives me an opportunity to actually get the ball in and make a good chance. And now, once I know that he brings up a play out position, look, he is panicking. And we actually get the ball through and I should score. Again, we get the ball, look how much space. He's backing off, backing off, backing off, backing off. Doesn't know what to do. And I know that at some stage, he is going to have to meet me. So all I've done is turn away and there's the space in behind. And this time, we miss again. Again, right, we're here again. Doesn't know where he's going. Look, tackle, tackle, tackle. He's just literally only focused on the player with the ball. And because he's only focused with the player on the ball, it makes it quite easy for me just to knock this ball about, move his team about. He's not thinking, oh, this ball could go here. Look, he's just solely going after the ball carrier, wherever the ball is. And he gets away with it, but wherever I was with the ball, he just chased me and chased me and chased me. Here's bad defending for me because I've committed and it results in a goal. So here, I didn't need to, in this situation, commit. Actually, I'm in a really strong position here. I've guessed that he's going to turn this way. And by guessing, I'm completely left wide open. And now they score. So that's another thing to be careful of, but we're not going to focus too much on that today. This is more about just being so focused on the ball carrier. Look, focus on the ball carrier. There's a tackle. He's nowhere near. There's the gap left by the left back. And then we actually do then penalise and score the goal. This is bad defending for me. This wasn't... Look at the minute as well. 86th minute. And this is how I choose to defend. And it's because I see the danger and I control the wrong player. I see this danger. I see it. I see it straight away. If you actually see... I'm going to go back a tiny bit. Go back to where I controlled Gerrard. Before this player even gets the ball. Before my opponent has probably seen this pass. I've seen the danger. But I'm just going to give you 3 seconds. What should I have done if I see the danger there? 1, 2, 3. You could have paused the video if you needed more time. What I should have done is I needed to switch to this player here and move De Ligt along. And then I get a chance. I don't do that. Look, I'm trying to cover. Look, I'm desperately trying to cover with Steven Gerrard. I can't get there. If De Ligt, though, was controlled, my centre-back, he would have been much closer. And by then, no matter how I switch to the defender, the damage has been done. And this is why people will say, oh, defending is too hard. You can do something about it, but you've got to think about it. And that was the difference then. Conceded. Now, I just want to highlight this, and I want you to be looking at your stats as well. Look at the tackles here. We saw them spamming tackles in a few of the clips. Look at my tackles. But look at the interceptions. 20 interceptions to 11. And that is how it is such a big thing to focus on. I then want to focus on a few of the heat maps as well. Let me just slide this across. So this is where the tackles took place. Look at the concentration where my opponent was tackling. In and around the penalty box. Last ditch defending. Trying to stop that last pass. Look at now my heat map. Spread across, of course. There's stuff inside around the box. But look, we're heavily concentrated here. Middle of the pitch. Fullback position. And that's kind of like more of a better heat map. Because that shows that you're tackling and being sensible with it in different places in the pitch. Not kind of being so passive that then you have to do it all in the box. Again, look at the standing tackles. Look at my heat map here. Look at the opponents. Look at this. Look how many tackles and spamming of pressing that tackle button in and around their own box. That's not what we want at all. And then look at the interceptions. Hardly any for my opponent, 11. Fairly central in the pitch as well, which shows that that's probably more of a mistake of me of passing the ball in situations I shouldn't have passed it in. Then look at the interceptions here. All over the shop. Out wide, central, high up the pitch, in and around my penalty box. And this is probably where in and around your penalty box is better, because actually that shows that you're stopping that pass, that final pass, you're stopping it before it gets to the point where you have to tackle. So there's a few ideas that you can have to help you defend. I'm just focused on two things at the moment: interceptions and player switching, but I will focus more on tackling situations, when you should tackle, when you shouldn't. Let me know what you think about that tutorial. Hopefully it helps you out in FC 26. Hopefully you are enjoying this content as well on the channel. Thank you all to the members that have joined. Remember, all members do get all tactic videos, testing tactics, tactic breakdowns before anybody else. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. A like and a comment really does go such a long way. Sub if you're new, and I'll see you soon for some more FC 26 content. Take care.